Incan Empire. Background. Leaders include Pachacuti, Tupac, Inca, Yupanqui, Hyena, fuck. And there are more, but we can't list them all. They were mainly polytheists, and Viracocha, the god of creation, in Apu Ilapu, is the god of rain. The Incas actually all thrived on trade. They traded things that were made from alpaca wool to things made of silver and gold. The Incas actually didn't keep records in a written language, but they used quipis, which were the equivalent of files. Quipis were ropes tied with multiple knots, and those knots could represent the birth of a noble, to the death of a great leader. The Incans didn't really have a currency that they used. It was mainly just trade of goods and services, and mainly just alpaca wool things and statuettes. But the taxes were unpaid labor for the government, called mita. And the Inca were very, very expert craftsmen, and they made things out of wood and metals.
The geography and natural resources of the place was rocky mountainous terrain, which they utilized to build their roads. The stone was the main resource, so they had a lot of stone buildings, stone structures, stone tools, just a lot of stone things. They used the alpacas and llamas to produce wool for the textiles.
The Empire, or 5 things that made the Empire great. So the Incas were the largest empire in the Americas during the 15th century. They spanned from their capital city, Cusco, to up and down the coast of Chile. They were masters at integrating other cultures into their own. So after taking a conquest of another civilization, they took those conquered peoples and basically forced them into their own system, making them learn the language, understand quipis, all of it. They also had very advanced architectural techniques for being an ancient civilization. Their architecture pretty much looked like Legos, and all of their structures were built to withstand earthquakes and landslides, which were the main hazards of the rocky mountainous terrain that they were located in. Their roads were absolutely huge, though they were also built as part of like a tribal bring together after a conquest of another civilization by a great leader. And the last thing that made them great is at their peak, they had over 10 million people from the span of 1400 to 1500.
Why they fell. Their main leader at the time, during the Spanish invasion, was ignorant and had disregarded all the Spaniards' threats. The Spanish already had better weapons, like guns. They used cavalry units, they had cannons and things like that. But the Spanish also had the most important weapon of them all. Biological weapons. They brought smallpox along with them. I don't think they knew, or at least they pretended they didn't. And they used that to really take over, since that really got the most kills. They also had an example from the last Incan leader.
Invited him to a formal dinner, and taking even thousands of soldiers with him as bodyguards, they were still no match for the Spanish weaponry. Will they fall? Will the U.S. fall like the Inca? Ali and I both agree that the U.S. will fall someday, but not like the Inca. We would probably fall to a secondary civil war, third world war, or any nuclear war in general.
Or we will end up tearing ourselves apart from the inside out due to our nation's stupidity and failures at electing a good leaders, which will inevitably end with us collapsing in on ourselves.
Here are our sources. Thanks for listening.